Bienvenidos, amigos, and welcome back to another episode of More Life Diaries. And today we are here to share our experience dealing with immigration in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. We just recently had to renew all of our residencies here, mine, Kath, and the kids, all at different times, and we took a different approach every single time to make things more complicated. So we're here to tell you guys all about the process, the ups and downs, the details, what to bring if you're going, and just some overall tips if you plan on getting your residency here. So let's jump right into it.
Mic check, mic check.
Mic check, mic check.
Mic check, mic check.
Are you recording? Ready? All right, guys, let's jump right into our experience here dealing with immigration with regards to our temporary residencies. So we came up on a year and we had to renew all of us. But when we first got it done here, we didn't do it all at once together so that everyone was kind of a little bit spread out. So just to go back to when we first got residency here, this is a question that's often asked, especially in regards to tips when you're applying in your home country. I know that I've heard from some of you that have commented that it is quite difficult to get a meeting with the immigration offices, for example, in Toronto. They've been giving people the runaround. They say that they don't accept new applicants for the moment. So it has become quite difficult. I don't know why I don't have that kind of information. Maybe they just want to reduce the amount that they're giving out. But if you do get a meeting at at a consulate rather in Toronto, then or at a consulate wherever you are, then that whole process starts in your home country. Then once you get here, and this is what we're going to be talking about today, you have to finalize the process. So our number one recommendation would be to go through a facilitator, especially if it is your first time going through this process. You're in a new country, everything is done in Spanish, all of the paperwork is in Spanish. We went with a facilitator and we still had ups and downs, even with the facilitator trying to get everything done. So a lot of people ask, should I go through a facilitator? Should I do it myself? Our recommendation sticks that
It's worth it.
it's definitely worth it. Your first time here, your first time, getting your temporary residency, if that's what you're getting. So there will be extra things that you'll have to provide.
And you have 30 days from the time that you enter the country to when you finalize it. So, I mean, obviously there's deadlines when you renew it, but you're already here. Whereas with the initial finalizing, you have 30 days from when you arrive. So
Yeah.
you don't want to waste too much time.
Yes. And if you are looking for a facilitator or recommendations, please do reach out to us. We'd gladly help you out on that front. So what we were doing was renewing our residency here. So the process is similar and different all at the same time. Obviously, we don't have to prove as many things. There's not as much paperwork to be done.
But there's still a lot.
A lot of paperwork.
More
to
than
be
you would
done.
expect.
So we were asking ourselves, like, should we go through a facilitator this time or should we try and do it on our own? And for myself and Kathleen, we ended up opting to go with a facilitator once again, just to make sure that everything was done correctly. We were a little bit last minute, which is our fault as well. So we just wanted to make sure that no time was wasted.
Or what can we say? Originally, I tried to do mine without a facilitator and we went to Nayarit for some reason, which is about half an hour away, just a little bit farther. And they told me that I couldn't get renewed. I don't know why, but they were like, no, you don't qualify anymore.
Depending on which office you go to, often they are giving mixed messages or mixed information, which is very, very odd to me. It seems like, it should be really straightforward with the information they give. I don't think they really take the time to look into the specific person's situation that's there just to maybe ask a question. They don't go through everything. So yeah, that was just a whole separate part. But thankfully, me and Kathleen got renewed. Everything went well for the most part. But then came the time to do the kids. And I said, I'm going to do the kids. I want to be successful at renewing because we're planning on being here for a long time. I don't want to have to go through a facilitator every single time. We'll get into what the cost of that is in a second, but I was like, I need to learn. We need to learn this process at some point. We didn't know anything. We didn't know what questions they ask. We didn't know what paperwork to bring. We had to do an address change at the same time, which we'll also get into in seconds. So yeah, I was like, we need to learn how to do this because we might have to do it again in the future and then get the permanent residency. And that's a whole other process. So yeah, we wanted to do it. And that's exactly what we did. So basically, researched everything. We'll add the links below to the government website where you can do your address change. You can not apply, but you can get the paperwork to renew your residency. And we'll leave all that in the comments down below. So to get the kids renewed, I got everything done. I went early to immigration just by myself to wait. And long story short, we were not successful that day. That Kathleen came to meet me, and yeah, we didn't have all the paperwork done. There was issues with the address change, and again, you need to really cross your T's, dot your I's when you go there because any small thing they will not accept. And again, everything is in Espanol. So again, it's like legal language in Spanish, all new words, never like seen that stuff before. The lady, thankfully, at the immigration office, the first time I went, spoke English. So I was able to ask her, like, what else do I need? I'm coming back tomorrow. Let me know exactly what I need to change and exactly what I need. And she was very, very helpful, thankfully.
And just to set the tone of this, Mark arrived there at what, 8?
I think 8 the first time. Yeah.
I got there at 10 with our 2 children, and we left around 12:30. So that was a couple hours, and there's nothing there for kids. So it's just us, and that was
it's just seats outside and some inside. If you're inside, then
you enjoy air conditioning.
Yeah, a little air conditioning. But yeah, so just to show that and we're not the only ones that got turned around that day. Like people go thinking that, they're going to get their residency or they're going to achieve whatever it is that they're there to do. And a lot of people don't. They mess up. They have to go back multiple visits, which again, if it's your first time doing it, a facilitator will make sure that everything is done properly.
So then the next day came, and like Mark said, there were people that got rejected, and we know that because they were there the next day too.
Yeah. And big shout out to everyone who recognized us both days at immigration. We got to meet a whole bunch of you.
I hope it worked out.
Yeah, I hope it worked out. It didn't work out for us the first day, but successful the second day. So going into the second day, I had to, again, prepare a whole bunch of paperwork. To do an address change here, it's as much paperwork as to get your residency. And big fat stack of paperwork for each one of us just for an address change.
And we had already done the address change before Mark got his renewal, but somehow
it wasn't in the system. So someone dropped the ball somewhere.
I got mine fine, but then when it was time for the children, the address change was no more. So we had to do it again.
So talking about day 2, when we went back, and I just kind of want to set the expectation for what it's like when you go to immigration. I think day 2 was a little bit, it was successful. So that was a plus. But I got up even earlier. So I went to immigration for 7 a.m. There were some facilitators waiting there again, because you have to either get a number, which would be the Nayarit office, or here you have to sign your name. And basically there's a list. So you sign your name wherever, you are in terms of like the waiting line. So again, if you go through a facilitator, they go and make sure to get you a spot that day. They wait in line for you. One person was there from 3 a.m. Waiting for a facilitator. So they've got the system down to a T. So I got there. I was third on the list, basically. Signed everyone in. We had to all do our address change plus renew the two kids. So again, the earlier you get there, the better, because right now it's not such a busy time of year when you go to immigration. However,
In the
you're
winter,
yeah,
that's when it's busy because that's when most of the foreigners are here. Now we're entering in the slow season, which basically starts after Semana Santa.
and they open at 9. I was third on the list. They opened the office at 9, and we got out of there, I think, around 1 p.m.
Two.
2?
Two.
2 o'clock. So I was third on the list. So if you're 15th on the list, you might have to pull an all-nighter. So yeah, just get there early. We got there early. There was a lot of paperwork, a lot of things to do. An address change is a lot of work
Way
here.
more complicated than you would think.
And yeah, basically we waited, I want to say at least an hour, even just to go into the office once you guys got there.
I don't think it
Maybe a
was
little bit
maybe
less.
a little bit less. So we got there at 9. That's when the office opens. Yeah, maybe a little bit less than an hour. We got to go inside. And then I feel like there was a long period of waiting before
Yeah.
you went up with the paperwork.
So you go up to the paperwork. Again, do not expect anyone to speak English. Everyone there speaks Spanish. So the first day, the lady that was there thankfully helped me out in English. And that was the most important because she told me everything that I was missing or not doing. And the second day, I had to deal with everything in Spanish. So first, like the address change, that took a really long time. And then the kids, um, renewal, which also takes a very long time. So they're kind of processing things here and there. And the difficult part is you print out a whole bunch of documents, you fill out stuff, you sign a whole bunch of stuff, you bring it with you. But then there are some hidden forms you need to sign once you're at immigration. Um, there's also, once you do any sort of change there, they email you and you have to go into that email, accept it. For the renewals, we had to fill out another form online and submit it. Then you have to wait for them to receive confirmation of that. And that was very lengthy. I don't know if there were any sort of delays with like them receiving the information, but she's like, I haven't received it yet. So I filled it out 3 other times, and she's like, "Now I've received it."
Important question for
Yeah.
people. Is there free Wi-Fi at the immigration office?
There's Wi-Fi, and you can't get on it because it's password protected. So a really important thing is, and we'll let you guys know, what to bring, but definitely put Wi-Fi on your phone or internet
Which you can do next door
next
at
door.
Doc, so
Yeah.
you need to.
Because again, you will, if you have a facilitator, they take care of everything again. But if you're going there solo, you will need to use your internet on your phone, one to kill time, and two to accept the confirmation of the changes and stuff like that. So at the end of the day, we were successful with the address change. We were successful with the renewal. Really, really proud that we were able to do it by ourselves. And it's not that, we had any sort of bad experiences dealing with
The
facilitators.
facilitators have all been great.
Really, really great. Yeah. They all speak English and Spanish. They're all very helpful. They tell you exactly what you need, where to sign, like literally anything and everything. But my mindset was just like, I don't want to have to go through a facilitator or
Every time.
every single time we'll need to go to immigration for something. Like, I need to figure this out.
Like, to just give context, my experience with the facilitator this time was I arrived, I signed a bunch of papers, he showed me exactly where. I followed him inside when we were called. He called me to come stand up there, sign a couple other things, pay, sit down, take my photo, and got the card. I mean, that process is way longer for some reason, but
Mhm.
there was just no effort really on my part. It was just very easy.
Yeah.
So it is worth getting them.
Cost of a facilitator is, I think, between 5,000 to 10,000, depending on
Depending.
what you need. That's kind of like the ballpark amount. Um,
That's peso.
in pesos, yeah, 5,000 pesos to 1,000 pesos, más o menos. And again, they really do take care of everything for you. Sometimes you need to get documents translated and those types of things. So facilitators are very helpful for that. Again, reach out to us if you need any sort of recommendations. They are great. And yeah, definitely if it's your first time going there and trying to do it all by yourself, if you speak Spanish, then yeah, you can more than likely figure it out.
I would say even if you speak Spanish, it would still be,
You'll still get the runaround.
yeah,
I mean, you might not be successful your first time at bat.
just be a bit easier.
Everyone strikes out, but you get another turn to go. You can go back every single day until you get things right. And yeah, guys, we did it.
We did it.
It's
Mark
very
did it.
important.
He was really the
On
one
point.
to handle it. Yeah, he did it.
And just to tell the kind folks, if you go through a facilitator or not, what should you bring to prepare for your long day at immigration?
Your patience, number one, bring all of it.
Your-
Don't come if you're having a
your
bad day. It's
paperwork.
not getting better. Your paperwork, literally, if you're not going, are we doing this as if you're going through a facilitator?
Either
Yeah.
or.
If you have a facilitator, they should have everything.
Yeah.
But, obviously bring your passport, any other identification, anything that they've told you you need to bring it, obviously. If you don't have a facilitator and you're
Mhm.
doing it yourself, bring all of them. I would say bring every form filled out, maybe bring a spare blank.
I would, yeah,
Bring every form. Just fill out the whole website.
fill out everything. You can fill out extra forms just in case. Like I wasn't sure for one specific form if I needed to fill, this one or that one. So I just did both and printed them in case they were, needing the other one. Also, bring extra copies of your passport and your residency card if you have them, like for the address change. She needed, for some reason, like an extra copy of whatever it was. And I just happened to had many extra copies in my binder because I came really ready the second time around. And yeah, just
Not
bring
taking
extras,
chances.
like take 2 or 3, just leave them in your binder with all your documents and stuff like that.
What else do you need? Layer your outfit. If you're coming in the winter, it's cool outside. In the morning, because you're in the shade. If you are going to the Puerto Vallarta office, you are likely going to be outside for a few hours until they allow
Yeah.
you in. So you're just sitting outside.
You'll be cold, then you'll be hot.
Just be prepared for that.
Yeah.
Bring snacks, bring a thing of water. You are next to an OXXO, but it's just OXXO convenience store food. Make sure your phone is charged. Bring your phone charger, something to entertain yourself.
Mhm.
Books, bring your work laptop. If you have kids, bring all of the toys, all of the gadgets. They are going to be bored. Just basically be prepared to camp out there all day. The Nayarit office is a bit better because it's in an office building. So there's a washroom on site. Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention there's no washroom in the Puerto Vallarta one. You have to go to the OXXO and pay, or go across the parking lot to Puerto Mágico, and which is the place where you can do like excursions.
Mhm.
Honestly, I think we probably could have went whale watching in between the time it took for us to
Yeah,
get
definitely.
everything done. But if you go there, they have well-maintained free washrooms, Wi-Fi, cafes. And then, so the Nayarit one, it's an office building. They have all that stuff on site. So it's
Yeah.
a bit more comfortable, especially if the weather is extreme, because you're inside the whole time.
And most importantly, bring your patience with you.
Yes.
You will need it. Again, things are done differently here. Things are still very manual, a lot of paperwork, a lot of manual revision by the officer working there. So just bring your patience. It's not a time or a place to get stressed out, to get angry. Again, like we didn't have the stuff. Yes, it is frustrating, like internal frustration.
Internally, you're like,
But you're just like, you ask the questions and make sure to, ask exactly what you do need so that the second time around you are successful. And yeah, it just makes doing it that much better.
Oh,
I
and
think.
one important thing to note that they do not have at either of these locations, and I think that maybe from where we're coming from, we expect that they would. They don't have copies of the paperwork that you need. You can't go there, and if they say you're missing this page, they don't have the page for you. They will not print it for you.
Mhm.
There's nowhere for it to be printed except until you go home or wherever you
Yeah,
printed your
there's
stuff.
no printing business around there. You have to either walk or drive a little bit further away if you do want to print anything. So yeah, they're not offering anything for free. No printing, no
There's
scanning,
not
no
forms ready to be filled out.
photocopies. Yeah,
Like if you don't have it, you're coming back the next day.
except the secret forms that they whip out
Yes.
that you weren't expecting. So those ones they have. They don't have anything else
But
in
what are
there.
the secret forms and what are the forms that you just didn't see on the website?
Yeah.
Who knows until you get there.
Yeah.
So bring your patience.
Yeah, bring your patience for sure. And yeah, guys, that was our experience renewing at INM, IMN.
And I just also, I think we should mention that let's say you're successful. They stamp all your papers, then you make the payment. You're like, cool, I did it. Will you be leaving the immigration office anytime soon?
No,
No,
um,
something happens in between the time that you are approved and the time that they are going to take your photo.
many hours.
We have our
Many.
theories that maybe the photo person comes in later and that we're all just waiting there to take the photo until the afternoon, no matter what time you come
No,
in.
they were there.
Oh,
They were there all
I was
day. They were there from the morning. Yeah, so everything's very, very slow. Everything. You'll pay, you'll have many more hours to sit there. You'll eventually
Take a photo
take a
and your
photo.
fingerprints.
If the machine to print your card works, then you'll get it shortly after that
Shortly, half an hour
ish.
to an hour.
We've had to go back because it wasn't working. Sometimes the payment machine isn't working either. So just expect the unexpected, and again, pack your patience when
Yeah.
you go.
Get comfortable when you're there.
Get a coffee. Guys, that was their experience at immigration. We're all renewed. We're good for a little while now. Again, this is, I think, maybe like the first. No, I think maybe we did a podcast a little while ago in regards to our experience, but I'm going to link down below some really helpful information for you guys if you're looking to get temporary residency, permanent residency. There's another program called the regularization program as well. If you qualify, you don't have to show any sort of finances, and you can do that directly from here. So really helpful link from the Mexico relocation guide down below. Let us know if you have any questions. Comment down below what your experience is with immigration here, and we'll catch you guys in the
And
next
shout out
episode.
to the person we saw at immigration our second day, which was successful. I don't think his was, unfortunately, but he bought us some coffee. So I want to say thank you. And I hope
We drank all the coffees that same day. So
Thank you.
it definitely helped.
I hope you figure out your whatever you were there for. Thank you.
Subscribe if you haven't already. This is our journey. More Life Diaries. Peace.